Ford's Fiesta van is not only the industry's smallest LCV, but also remains the most enjoyable one to drive in this 7th generation form. If you've an urban-based business prioritising efficiency and manoeuvrability over load capacity, it might be just up your street. All Fiesta van models handle vastly better than you'd expect any LCV to be able to do. With this 7th generation model, things have been improved in this regard by a 15% stiffening of the body and a widening of the front and rear tracks. The vehicle's lightweight and low set driving position also give a feeling of sportiness. Plus, there's plenty of feedback through the improved electric steering rack. Upgrade yourself from a standard Fiesta van model to the sport van variant that we have here, and you get lowered sport suspension, rear disc brakes and larger wheels that can be anything between 16 to 18 inches in size, depending on the final spec that you choose. Go for this sport van variant and you get quite a lot more power. For petrol people, there's the brand's familiar little 1.litre T EcoBoost 3-cylinder turbo unit, offered here in a 125 PS state of tune. The alternative is the engine we're trying in this case, a high-output 120 PS version of the 1.5-litre TDCi diesel, which we found to be one of the more refined units of its kind. With 16-inch wheels, it manages 67.3 miles to the gallon on the combined cycle and 107 grams per kilometre of CO2. At first glance, you might think the design of this 7th generation Fiesta van to represent a pretty modest evolution over its predecessor. Get out the tape measure though, and it's a different story. This little LCV being 70mm longer, 13mm wider and 20mm lower than before. Plus, virtually every constituent part of this model is different. As before, there are two quite distinct variants from which to choose. The smaller engines are reserved for the standard Fiesta van, while the larger ones come fitted to this smart sport van version, which, as you can see, is what we've got here. Choose this more dynamic derivative and you get a special body kit that includes these lower side skirts, plus there are larger wheels too. All this is welcome, but as we've been saying, much of the improvement is invisible. Time to take you to a part of this little LCV where the changes really are very evident. Here at the wheel, it's quite different, isn't it? And it needed to be. Cabin quality was what let down the previous model with its cheap finishes and confusing button clutter. Now, forget all that now. There are flush, seamless surfaces, soft-touch plastic coatings and neat splashes of chrome. Plus, it all seems to have been very well screwed together by the factory in Cologne. On this sport van variant, it's particularly nice. Can this really be a van, is your first thought when getting behind the thick, leather-stitched, flat-bottom steering wheel that feels like the tiller that you get on an M Sport-trimmed BMW. It's complemented by low-set sport seats, an aluminium gearshift knob, a dark woven headliner and stainless steel pedals. Owner-drivers will love it. Other than all this tinsel, the first thing you'll probably notice in this Mark 7 model Fiesta LCV is the infotainment system that now sprouts in freestanding form from the top of the centre console. As standard, sport van variant buyers get the largest available screen size, 8 inches, and customers for the base Fiesta van model can upgrade to this too from that version's rather limited 4.2-inch monitor. Okay, let's get practical. Exactly how much can this Fiesta LCV carry? Let's see. This Fiesta van model offers 0.96 cubic metres of load volume, which, somewhat counterintuitively, is actually slightly less than you get in an ordinary 3-door Fiesta Super Mini with the rear seats folded. The maximum usable load length of 1,283 millimetres is slightly less than the previous model offered, but the load box height, 923 millimetres, is significantly better this time round. The load box width dimension, that's 1,281 millimetres, is pretty much the same as before. There's 984 millimetres between the wheel arches. Payloads? With this sport van, you're looking at up to 508 kilograms for the EcoBoost petrol model, or up to 511 kilograms for the TDCi 120 PS variant. We think it's rather clever of Ford to have stayed in the small city van segment at a time when most competitors are leaving it. If you've an urban-based business and all it actually delivers is very small items, say urgent envelopes or crucial little software parts, then you're probably looking here at the perfect LCV for your needs. In both derivatives, we thoroughly approve of the smarter cabin, the extra safety kit and the upgraded media equipment, particularly the clever Ford Pass Connect onboard modem for connectivity on the move. In short, this is more than ever a city van perfect for its intended remit. Imagining your company logo on the doors? Then you'll know what to do.